Hello everyone, this is Sanjay from CSIT branch. Today my AAT tech talk topic of Dbms, that is database management system, is different database for different strokes. Introduction. Selecting the right database matches your needs to the best option. In this presentation, we will review the various types of database and the factors you should consider when selecting the best one for your sub-project. So like the databases are one of the oldest technologies we use in the computer systems, the database management technology isn't at standstill. Quite the opposite. DBMS offer modernized relational schemes designed for transactional applications as well as non-relational systems and more streaming-oriented technologies for fast analytics. Users have a wide choice of DBMS technologies to best suit their online, social, mobile analytics, embedded real-time, and cloud application needs. In this installment of software technology, Gregory Well provides an overview of current DBMS technologies and suppliers. So, in this we are going to learn about the introduction to database, definition of different database types, characteristics and features, appropriate usage, advantages and disadvantages. Database is nothing but is a collection of interrelated data stored in a computer. So importance of the database, it provides a highly efficient method for handling large amount of different types of data with ease. Database allows data to store systematically and this data to be easily retrieved, filtered, sorted and updated efficiently and accurately. Flat file databases. Simple database system that stores record in a plain text file that have no structured relationships between each record. And the characteristics and features are stores all data in one large table. Each line of the text holds one record. Here records is nothing but rows. The first row in a flat file refers to the field name. The different fields in record are separated by delimiters such as vertical bar or a comma or semicolon. No folders or paths are used to organize the data. Cannot store graphical documents but only text. Data stored in it searched by using keywords, phrases or both. So these are some of the features of the flat file databases where the data is stored in like a large table and each line text holds only one record and these are separated by the delimiter such as vertical bar, comma or semicolon. And way to use ideal for storing very small amounts of simple data that can be manually manageable. For example, in this example, we use the flat file database to store records for a fundings or savings for a small group of people because there is no fields to use the multiple table is necessary as well and there is no complex process to perform. And this is an example. And advantages and disadvantages. It is easier to set up and use, consume less space, no special software or hardware requirements, often free or cheap. And the disadvantage is it is very highly that the data may be corrupted and it is also easily that errors may occur. It is very hard to update or modify and the access control of this is very poor and we cannot perform the complex processes in this. And the second one is the relational database, more advanced and efficient type of database which can store very large amount of data in set of tables that are linked together. And the characteristics and features are use of multiple tables to store records and each table is composed of records in rows and columns. Each column is a field which represents a particular type of information of the entity and each row lists as one record. Each field in table has its own data type. Each row contains a unique instance of data to uniquely identify the record. Records within the tables are linked to records held in other tables through a relationship. The statements of inserting, retrieving, updating, and deleting data in relational database are made by queries which are written in SQL. And these are mainly used in different industries ranging from small to large companies. That is used for storing the financial records of the whole industries and also keeping the track of their inventory of how much they hold the value of their company and holding the customer and supplier information to keep the track of the customer orders and to keep the records on employees and etc. Advantages is it can store the large amount of data and ensures data integrity, easily extendable and modifiable, facilitates data accessibility, searchability and reporting, better performance, allow multiple users and advanced data security. And some of the disadvantages are it is a steep learning curve, expensive to set up and maintain, requires sophisticated hardware and networking setups and presents a double-ended sword. Hierarchical database. Type of database where data are organized in tree structure that links a number of different elements to one parent primary record. And characteristics and features are: the top of three is the parent and the branches are children. All attributes of specific records are listed under an entity type. An entity type is equivalent of a table. Each individual record is represented as a row and an attribute as a column. Each record type has only one parent. Entity types are related to each other using one-to-many relationships. So the top of the tree is a parent, and all the branches are in this relational databases are called as children, and each entity type is equivalent of the table. Mm. Each individual record is represented as a record as only one parent type are related to each other one to many relationships. And these are way to use mostly relevant to use in situation where the primary focus of information is gathered on a single data element, such as the list of business departments, employee organization and corporations or assets. For example, we use hierarchical schema for the party company, where it contains of department ID, department name, and manager name. And in this employee ID, employee name, and employee address, and employee salary. And it is about the project ID, where everything is connected to the one parent, that is department. Advantages: it is easier to understand, simplifies data overview, easier to work with because of its linear type of data storage. And the mainly disadvantages are its predefined tree structure reduces flexibility, many relationships not supported, slow because access to child segment can only be done through the parent segment. The next one is about the desktop database, types of basic database that is made to run on a single computer. And the characteristics and features are: allows file system levels access to data rather than access via a database server. Usually comes with rich visual data-centric user interfaces like text database. Each row is a single record, but each field is in separate column, and offer a range of functionality for smaller data sets, but do not generally support the kind of advanced predictive and analytics and data mining widely used in small systems where expensive client-server databases are unnecessarily, and simple database access is more familiar to user. And advantages are: it is cheaper to implement and maintain, user-friendly database environment, and does not require sophisticated hardware and networking setups. Disadvantages: it is the very low secure and limited performance and capability, cannot represent the complex data relationships. Data redundancy is common, especially when the amount of data is increased. And these are references of my topic. So finally, the factors to be considered while that are the data structures and the data volume and the query complexity, scalability, performance, and cost. By evaluating these factors, you can select the databases that best meets your needs. Conclusion: and finally, I can conclude that selecting the right database is critical to the success of your project. Considering the factors you have discussed to make an informed decision, remember there is no one size fits all solution. Choose the database that best matches your needs. Thank you. So, like in relational database, it is a structured and organized data with defined relationships between the tables and ideal for complex queries and frequent updates. Like example, like MySQL, Oracle, and SQL servers. And NoSQL databases are flexible and scalable databases with dynamic schemas, ideal for unstructured or semi-structured data and distributed systems. Examples are MongoDB, Cassandra, and Dynamo database. And the graph databases are that store data in nodes and edges and allowing for complex relationships and queries, ideal for connected data and social networks. Examples are Neo4j Orient database and Narango database. And like these are some of the factors that need to be considered while constructing the data structure, data volume, and the query complexity, scalability, performance, cost. By evaluating these factors, you can select the database that best meets your needs. So, conclusion that I can conclude that a DBMS gives a business a complete clear picture of how data is exchanged, ensuring that no duplicates are created. It is also worth noting that, like many other systems, a DBMS would necessitate more memory and CPU, so business should consider whether they can meet these requirements. So summary that a database refers to a collection of logically related information organized so that it can be easily accessible and managed and updated. The importance is that it is a supports like the good data access, like large volume of data can be stored in one place and multiple users can read and modify the data at the same time. Databases are searchable and sortable, so the data you need can be found and quickly usable. Mm, So conclusion that the selecting the right database is critical to success of your project considering the factors we have discussed to make an informed decision. Remember that no one size fits all solutions. Choose the database that best matches your needs. Thank you.